it's going to golden score, have a hand tie, have another fight, and then come and fight you. Which scenario suits you?
For me, it suits me to be later on in the round because I like to go back to my room, sleep for an extra hour, let my breakfast settle, let my body recoup from cutting weight. But I also see that it's a little unfair to the lesser guys or the guys that don't have the seeds because they've got to fight 2 rounds just to make it. And I think it's a little unfair that they cut the same weight and are fighting just as hard early in the morning, where we stroll out of bed at 11 o'clock. And we show up at noon.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Has anything happened? Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what is an advantage for them that hasn't come up yet. When you're in that first round, when you're in there, they can come up against you.
Yep.
One fight, they're out.
Yeah.
When you're not, and you're not in the second round, you're in the third round, they can win 2 fights and score points.
Yeah.
They've got no chance of getting any points, really, if we're really, So we give them the chance to score points. We give them a chance to have a couple of fights.
But it also gives them experience for later on. That way the B-level players who are coming up are still at these tournaments getting events. Because when I came to these tournaments, I would draw Tsagaanbaatar first
every
round.
time,
I would draw Bischoff first round.
Sure. Yeah.
And you get those one-and-done results where you're only out there for a minute and a half and then you get thrown.
And the worst thing is at times you would get, you'd lose it on a Shido, or there'd just be one uke or something. But at home, they look at that, you first round loss. That's what they see. So first round loss, you can't be any good. It's the fight that they've got to see. It's the fight that they've got to understand and the nature of the fight. And it's the individual that you lose to that they've got to know. They've got to know who is that guy, who beat him. And sometimes you might hear, you lost to a Mongolian. A Mongolian, you lost to a Mongolian. No, they're good.
Yeah.
So, or Kazakh or Uzbek or something. So unless there's that understanding back home when you've got to go and justify your results, it's difficult. Because some people are saying, how come you're losing to these lesser countries? Well, these are big judo countries.
Yeah. Or especially in my weight with the Montenegrin, the Croatian.
Yeah, exactly. There's
these people that there's only one guy for their country.
Yeah.
But he's a solid player that gets solid results.
Aljaž Sede as well, the Slovenian. He's not a bad boy. All of them from that area. Think about it from that context. There would have been one guy coming from that what was the old Yugoslavia. There'd have been one guy from Russia. That would have been Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine. Now the place is full, absolutely full. What do you feel that's done to judo?
It's given it a different look, a different style. It's allowed players to grow. You don't run into that one person in like Russia, for example, that could dominate. You're giving the 2s and the 3s because now they're fighting for different countries. A chance to go out there and get medals, which brings the sport and more people into it.
Widens it, The Russians are going to have an interesting time in their selection. For 81. Because
also 66.
66. There's a few of them. 90, I think. Kirill Denisov and Kirill Voprosov. They've got a couple there. Well, Khasbaatar is leading by Wazari here over Deniss Kozlovs. The referee's had his instruction from the control table, so I think he's going to communicate that with his colleagues, and now here comes the decision. Just a Yuko. 2:42. Khasbaatar leads. We're going to see Nick Del Popolo again a little bit later. Maybe we'll call Travis back for another grilling. Then it's always nice to get the fighters to come up here and ask them how they feel about various things that are going on with regard to the way that the competitions run, some of the timings or whatever. We couldn't avoid 8:30 this time.
Yeah, there's just too many people.
Just so many people want to give this a go, and we really try to avoid the short time in between the end of the weigh-in and the start of the competition. But with this number of fighters,
it's hard to.
We didn't have a great deal of choice. So who are you sitting with at present?
The whole U.S. team is sitting right over here, just kind of watching the tournament. Or I've been sitting in the back, warming people up, gripping, trying to get back in shape for this camp coming up.
with the busted hand.
Trying to stay in shape,
I completely left out Kayla Harrison from that conversation about who it is that's stepping up for the United States of America, because you know the three of you are established international fighters now. Clearly, that's done. You're up there, but you're all in just incredibly difficult categories. Every time you look, there's somebody there. You know, whenever you look at the draw sheet, there's no easy half. There's no easy quarter. You know, there's not an easy even part of the pool.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at it, just so much depth at 81, 57, and 78, and with Kayla due to fight tomorrow. Yang Ju the Olympic champion, Yo Abigail is here, Haida Volert, Purev Jagul. I'm not sure if she's going to compete, the Mongolian. She's not going to compete. The people that aren't here are Ogata, the Japanese, and the really, really big rival, not just because she's good and at the top, but there's a Pan Am thing, and there's a personal thing. It's getting personal now with Aguiar from Brazil. That's for us as spectators, people who are watching. This is a great matchup. You know, two great athletes, and who are not afraid of each other.
No,
they want to face each other, and they always give a good account of themselves. And one of them goes over for Ippon. Either Kayla bangs her, or you know, she gets banged last. Actually, she did in Paris.
It's definitely an interesting matchup because they're both throwing.
Yeah,
they're
they
not
both
want to
go.
It out. Yeah.
They want to go. I can't think. I mean, maybe the least explosive of that group is probably Haida Volert. You know, the Ippons, and of course Chermio, the French girl.
Yeah.
You know, you get Chermio, Ogata, Harrison, Aguiar, Yang, maybe Yang as well. She just can't come off the pace a little bit 4 years after an Olympic Games and everything. But the rest of the girls, Yo as well, because she's got that style. It's not the most attractive style, but there's going to be an Ippon there.
Yep.
She's going to throw you, or you're going to counter her, because she's got that one-sided, horrible, awkward stance. But this is that was a category that was dying. Under 78 kilos. There was nobody in there. And then all of a sudden, after Beijing, you know, exploded. And it's nice that Yang stayed around. You've got that Olympic flavour. What's really good is that she hasn't got that Olympic, I'm going to smack everybody type thing. You know, there's a chance with her. Bischoff, I suppose, could also be, could fall into that category where winning the Olympics, but then, you know, the steam seemed to go out of him. I think even he would admit it. There was just a period there, especially in the last year, where, you know, Maresh could smell London. He could taste the fish and chips. It was, you know, they were on the plate. They just hadn't been served up to him yet. And
it's going to be a tall order for him to make London now after Bischoff's Paris result.